All right, everybody, welcome to In the Paint, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. I'm Dan Tanner, your host. Nuggets have clinched the 4 seed. They are going to be the 4 seed in the West. Now, there is a couple of games still going right now that have a big impact on the Denver Nuggets, and that is the Clippers and Warriors. If the Clippers win, that's who the Nuggets will face in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. So the Nuggets will host a first-round series. You know, for a team that was this close to being in the play-in tournament, they've done a hell of a job over these last 3 games post-Malone era with David Adelman as the interim. So that was excellent to see. Right now, the Clippers and Warriors are tied at 103 with 3.5 minutes to go. So if the Warriors win and Minnesota wins, I believe the Nuggets will play, and Minnesota already did win. Okay, so if the Warriors win, I believe the Nuggets will play the Minnesota Timberwolves in round 1. So that's the situation, everyone, that we're looking at right now. I want the Clippers to win this game because I want the Nuggets to play the Clippers. I would much rather them play the Clippers in the first round over the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that is the scenario that we're looking at right now. I will try to keep you updated on this game as the post-game show rolls along. This is going to be a fascinating end to see who the Nuggets are going to be playing in the first round. But I want to hear from you. Feel free to leave me your comments, favorite Nuggets moments of the regular season. How do you think this team will do in the postseason? We'll get into that more once we know who the Nuggets are going to be playing in the first round. But with today's game, excellent start for Denver. They led after the first quarter, 36-23. They came out and handled their business, and then they just absolutely went off in that third quarter. Fourth quarter, the Rockets made a little bit of a comeback, but it was all but over at that point. The Nuggets had a 31-point lead at the end of the third quarter. So they are the 4th seed in the West, everyone. For all the turmoil that we've seen over the past couple of weeks with this organization, they have done a hell of a job with David Adelman, who deserves all the credit in the world. I mean, he has really brought this team together, and they are playing their asses off for this guy right now. And I'm telling you, depending on what happens in the postseason, I do think David Adelman should get at least a shot at being the Nuggets' full-time head coach. He's a very smart guy. He's got a great mind for the game. He's been their offensive guru over the last 8 seasons, and the Nuggets have had one of the best offenses, if not the best offense, over the past 5 or 6 years in the NBA. Now, I get it. They've got Nikola Jokic, and that helps, obviously. But David Adelman has been the mind behind the offense because Michael Malone was a defensive-minded head coach. He was more in charge of the defense. The offensive output and production from this team, that was David Adelman. So it will be interesting to see. Now, the question then becomes, well, the Nuggets don't really need to work on their offense. They've got that part down. Where they're struggling is on the defensive end. But they've been better on the defensive end over the last 3 games. And the fact that Nikola Jokic isn't having to do as much on the offensive end, I think is one of the main things, in my opinion, that's really helping this basketball team on the defensive end, because he can expend more energy on the defensive side of the court when he's not having to just do everything for this team on the offensive end. So excellent stuff. Let's get an update on the Warriors Clippers. It's tied at 105 with 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go. So we still don't know who the Nuggets will be playing in round 1, but we do know they will be the 4 seed and they will have home court advantage at least in the first round. So excellent stuff here. All right, let's get to some of your comments. We're going to have KJ on. We're going to have D-Mac's going to pop on for a bit. I reached out to Dempsey, so we're trying to get the crew on here for to get you all ready for the 2025 NBA playoffs. Okay. Thoughts on the season? Brandon says Jokic my MVP. That is something that is going to be wild because Nikola Jokic, unfortunately, is not going to win the MVP this year. Why do I say that? Well, ESPN did a straw poll. What was that, a week or two ago? And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got 77 out of 100 first place votes. For a center to average a season triple-double, something that's never been done before by a center, and not win the MVP is absolutely insane. It really is. And I can't remember who said it, but I think it might have been Draymond Green. In fact, it was. He said, we're going to look back at Jokic, his numbers, the numbers he put up this year. We'll look back on that 10 years from now and say, how the hell did this guy not win MVP? The MVP thing to me is kind of a farce. It's like voting for prom king and prom queen. It's just a popularity contest. There is no doubt about it that Nikola Jokic is the most valuable player in the NBA. There's no doubt about it, okay? So let's not get that mixed up. It's like put SGA on the Nuggets and put Nikola Jokic on the Thunder. Which team gets better? Which team gets worse? I don't think there's any question about it. And the games that Shai has missed this year, the Thunder, I still have a really good record. His off-the-court numbers, the Thunder are still in the positive, whereas the Nuggets are the best offense in the NBA with Jokic on the court, and they're one of the worst offenses in the NBA when he's not on the court. In fact, I think they might be dead last in offensive rating when he's not on the court. So at the end of the day, for me, it would be cool to see him get his fourth MVP 3 in a row. That would be really, really special. But at this point in this Nuggets era, for me, it's about championships. And that's how Nikola Jokic is going to add to his legacy. Not with more MVPs. It's going to be, at the end of his career, how many titles can he get? Is he going to have the Dirk Nowitzki sort of arc where he gets one? Or can he get multiple? If he can get to 2, then he really starts to get into the conversation of one of the greatest players to ever do it. The numbers speak for themselves. If you just go by the numbers, there's no doubt about it that Nikola Jokic, he just had the best season of all time. The best season of any player in the history of the NBA we witnessed this year in the regular season from Nikola Jokic. So it'll be interesting to see how the MVP votes work out. Okay, update on the Warriors and Clippers. It's tied at 111 with 56 seconds to go. This thing might be going to overtime. We might not find out who's going to be the Nuggets opponent for a little bit here. Again, reminder, if the Clippers win this game against the Warriors, that will be the Nuggets' first round opponent. It will be the LA Clippers. If the Warriors win, I believe it's going to be Minnesota. So I'm rooting for the Clippers to get this W. No doubt about it. I do not want the Nuggets to see the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. And, Peyton Watson was asked after Friday's game on the Altitude TV set, is there anybody you want to avoid? Do you want to avoid the Timberwolves? He's like, we're not scared of anybody, which he should be saying that. That's the right answer. But I'm a fan, okay? And I'm allowed to be scared of first round opponents. I do not want the Nuggets to play the Timberwolves. Now, that's not saying that they couldn't beat the Timberwolves in the first round. I think they could, but it's not an ideal matchup. Okay, let's get to some more of your comments here. Broncos fan for life. Love it. Hope this rides into the playoffs. That is going to be something really interesting. Can the Nuggets carry this momentum into the postseason? How far can this momentum take them? Josh Kroenke said he wanted to give this team a jolt. That was one of the reasons for letting go of Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. Can this jolt carry into the postseason? And let's not forget, I believe the Nuggets' first game is going to be on April 19th. So they're going to have about a week off to heal up. And I don't know if you caught this during the game, but there was a moment where it looks like Jamal was like grabbing at his hamstring. he continued to play in the game, so that was good. But yeah, it's it was a little concerning, and maybe it was nothing. I don't know. That's just something I happened to notice. I believe it was like in the second quarter where I saw that. Okay, let's get to more of your comments here. Dan, thank you for all your work all season long. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate all of you who have been riding with me and everybody at Altitude Sports Radio during the season. We've got Raj and Springer doing an awesome job between the pipes for Avalanche coverage. And for the playoffs, we will be doing post-game shows for both Avs and Nuggets on this digital platform, but we're also going to air them live on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. So we will be doing both. We will have all of your postseason coverage ready to go. The Avs and Nuggets have yet again both made it to the postseason, and this is absolutely my favorite time of year. It's going to be absolutely wild. All right, Jeff says, this Clippers Dubs game is an absolute classic right now, biting my nails. Yeah, let's get an update here. 10 seconds to go, tied at 111. Man, I wish I could pull this game up. But I just got the ESPN scoreboard up. It looks like it's going to overtime. We'll see. And it looks like it's just an absolutely classic game going on right now there in San Francisco. So we'll continue to keep you updated. Again, if the Clippers win, that will be the Nuggets' first round opponent, will be the LA Clippers. And the Nuggets played really well this year against the Clippers. Now, I know Kawhi Leonard is back and he's playing really well. And that has given the LA Clippers a boost for sure. But the Nuggets just match up well against the Clippers, and they don't match up as well against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the fourth quarter just ended, and it's tied at 111. So that game's going to overtime. Wow. All right, we still got more time to decide who is going to be the Nuggets' first round opponent. You know, I do got to say, this was a really good job on the NBA's part today. They had all the Eastern Conference games start at, I think it was 11 Mountain Time. And they had all of the Western Conference games start at 1:30. So it's just cool to like have everybody play at the same time. That way we can get the playoff matchups roughly around the same time. Obviously, you know, like I said, this Clippers Warriors game is going into overtime. So we will continue to keep that going. My guy Kevin says, now will you apologize to Nuggets Nation? Kevin's been getting on me because I've been critical of the Nuggets this year, and I stand by that. The things I've been critical about the Nuggets this year have been their lack of depth. Their perimeter defense has been atrocious, and the non-Jokic minutes specifically have been awful. And those are still concerns of mine, and the turnovers. The turnovers have been a problem all year for the Nuggets. So, look, if they can limit those things, that's going to be the key for them in the playoffs. Number one is just, can they stay healthy? Can Jamal Murray play in every game and be at relatively full health? Same with Aaron Gordon. And you know, Nikola Jokic has been dealing with a litany of stuff this year as well. So that will be something interesting. But if they can limit their turnovers, if they can just get a smidge better on the defensive end, specifically guarding the three-point line, I think they're going to be better because the depth won't be as big of an issue. They're still going to need depth in the playoffs, but the rotations are going to shrink. So I'm not as concerned with the depth heading into the playoffs, but the turnovers and the three-point defense are definitely something that is concerning. Let's see here. Navigator, hell of a performance, may not go far, but still amazing starting five stats. Yeah, that was, you know, it's been great just to see the Nuggets starting five back together, even for these last two games, to try and get a little of that chemistry back for the playoffs, because they played, I think, maybe less than 25 games, the starting five altogether this year. And like I said, they're going to have, you know, a little bit of time to rest up and heal here. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. Kevin says, let's go Warriors. All right. You want the Wolves, Nuggets fans? That's fine. I mean, I like it. You know, look, at the end of the day, whoever the Nuggets play, it's going to be on the Nuggets and what they do that determines how far they can go in the playoffs. I really do believe that. Some interesting questions will arise here too. How much does Russell Westbrook play in the playoffs? How much does Jalen Pickett play? Do we see Julian Strawther? I think that's going to be a big question heading into the playoffs. Julian's probably going to be the odd man out, unfortunately. But we'll see. If Russ and or Jalen Pickett struggle, absolutely could see Julian Strawther. And he is their best shooter coming off the bench. So we'll see what Adelman does. It's going to be really interesting. Navigator says he's 1,000% the MVP, but that won't happen and he doesn't care. And that's why Nikola is the greatest. It really is cool that we care way more about the MVP stuff than Nikola Jokic does. It absolutely does. All right, here, let's get an update. The Clippers have a 3-point lead. They're up 114-111 with 3.5 minutes to go in overtime. Let's go, Clips. Come on. I want to see the Clippers win this game. Let's see here. Kelly says, I'm sick of seeing Gobert's face in the playoffs. Yeah, it really is. That's a great point, Kelly. Rudy Gobert's face he does have a very, very punchable face. Okay, Marshall says, Adelman has his own playbook and mismatches Nuggets can throw at opponents. Son of a coach. Yeah, it was cool. Adelman talked about how he has he doesn't have the whiteboard with the dry erase. He actually has literal pieces of paper, draws a play, can rip it off. And that way, according to Adelman, he says that he can have that as a reminder for some of the stuff they ran that worked or didn't work later on in the game. So it's going to be interesting to see. Okay, update here. Clippers. The Clippers are 117-114. 2.5 minutes to go. The Clippers just called a timeout. So it looks like James Harden made a 3-pointer, and then Draymond hit a 22-foot jump shot. So it's going to be Clippers ball with 2.5 minutes to go, and they're up by 3. Wow. Kawhi's got 32. James Harden has 33. Holy cow. And then Steph Curry's got 33 for Golden State, and he's 6 of 10 from 3. Okay. Yeah, give it to me. Who do you want, the Clippers or the Wolves, Nuggets Nation? I want the Clippers. I do not want any part of the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. I actually believe that Anthony Edwards was suspended for their game today because he got his 16th technical in their previous game, but they ended up winning the game. All right, we got my guy KJ on. KJ, in the car. Look at you.
Hey, man, moving and grooving, baby.
What are you doing today?
Oh, man, just went and put some more boxes in the storage, and then I'm getting ready to head back to the house and put together a couch. So
okay, wow, you're going full suburban dad today, aren't you? All right, KJ, I won't keep you long, but the Nuggets clinched the 4 seed with their win over Houston. Now, I don't know if you've been looking at this, but the Clippers and Warriors are in overtime. The Clippers have a 3-point lead. It's 117-114. There's 2.5 minutes to go. If the Clippers win, KJ, that will be the Nuggets' first round opponent. If the Warriors win, I believe the Nuggets will be playing Minnesota in round 1. Who do you want? Who do you want in round 1?
Clippers.
That's what I'm saying.
Clippers.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And they're playing really well right now. Kawhi has come back and he looks awesome again. James Harden has 33 for them. But the Nuggets match up way, way better against the Clippers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think, again, with the Clippers, we're talking about a team that, is finesse. And that's a better matchup for the Nuggets, at least traditionally. We'll see how they face up against tougher teams as far as physicality under David Adelman. But as of right now, I'm going to stick to what I know. And what I know is the Denver Nuggets, they succeed better when it comes to finesse teams. Yeah. And that's what the Clippers are. So I would love to face the Clippers for the Nuggets' sake in the first round because it will give them just the ultimate confidence boost. And it would let them know that, like, hey, this team can get through hard challenges, um, even if it means that our hardest challenges are still to come. Because again, this team is embracing a new mindset in real time, and so I just think being able to face the Clippers would kind of be the reminder of we're taking steps. It's not like leaps and bounds.
Okay. Okay. So KJ, as far as um, my concerns for the Nuggets heading into the playoffs, number one is, can they stay healthy? I think that's a pretty obvious one. The other concerns I have is perimeter defense. That's been an issue all season long. The turnovers, which they've been better at with Adelman for whatever reason. Can they limit their turnovers? And then lastly, we've been talking about the lack of depth on this team all season long. I'm not as concerned about that going into the playoffs because, as we all know, the rotations shrink down a little bit. Now, it still matters. They're still going to need to have some of their guys come off the bench and produce on the offensive end.
Right.
What is your biggest concern for the Nuggets heading into the postseason?
My biggest concern is how will David Adelman balance the bench? Because that's been a big issue. Will he roll with Jalen Pickett or Russell Westbrook more? Right? Okay. How much does he trust Peyton Watson, even in moments where he may give up a defensive player or two? Right? How
Yeah.
much does he trust DeAndre Jordan to, number one, stay out of foul trouble, but number two, be just effective enough to not be a negative on the defensive end, because they're going to put him in a lot of pick and rolls, way more than they do Nikola Jokic. And so there's like a balance that David Adelman, that line he has to walk where, guys, give me a reason to trust you and I'll trust you. But even on the nights that I can't trust you, can I trust myself enough to not go Malone mode and force my guys to play north of 42 minutes in a 48-minute game?
Yes, I didn't even really think about the DJ stuff too. That is going to be really important. Can they, when DJ's on the floor and Jokic is out, that's going to be, can they just tread water, right? Can they keep the score even? That's all I'm asking.
Right.
And yeah, the Russ and Pickett thing's going to be really interesting. Are we going to see Julian Strawther in the playoffs? Like, is he going to play? Because he is their best shooter off the bench, but he did miss a month. He's looked pretty rusty and is in the limited number of minutes he's played since he's come back. I think it does depend on how well Jalen Pickett and Russell Westbrook are playing. If they're struggling, I don't think Adelman will hesitate to throw Julian Strawther out there. What do you think?
No, I agree 1,000%. And again, I'm going to stick to my MO that I said probably about a month and a half ago. I said, if MPJ is shooting well, then that limits Julian Strawther's opportunity. But if MPJ is on his typical 3-for-9 trajectory, then I think David Adelman, to go along with how the point guards are playing, it will give Julian Strawther a longer runway. So, like, for example, I give you a perfect example. So we're playing the Clippers. It's game 5. The series is 2-2. And MPJ is the third quarter, 6 minutes left to go. MPJ is 2 of 12, and he's 1 of 7 from 3. Well, I know for probably go from the rest of the third, and depending on how he plays in the early part of the fourth, it will be all Julian Strawther. There's no doubt in my mind. And so I just think there'll be moments strategically where I think Adelman will trust his young guys to say, hey, you know the importance of this moment, and I need you for the next 6 to 8 minutes to give me everything you got. He knows what the veterans can do down the stretch, but there are just times where guys, they just run into the wrong matchup, or maybe they're just having a cold night. And I think that's a scenario where I think Julian Strawther could really thrive. And if I'm Julian Strawther, if he goes a game or two without getting in, if I'm him, he has to have in the back of his mind on one player having a bad game away from getting in and absolutely changing the series. He could be literally the Bones Highland of this potential run in regards to his energy and effort if he has the right mentality.
Okay. Throwing a Bones Highland reference out there, KJ. I love it. Okay, update on the Clippers Warriors. There's 55 seconds left in overtime. The Clippers have a 4-point lead. The Warriors just called a timeout. Whew. All right. It looks like it's going to be the Clippers, but there's still a lot of time left in this game. That's going to be interesting. All right, KJ, last thing here, and we'll let you go. Favorite moment of the regular season for you for the Denver Nuggets?
Oh man, that's a great question. I got a lot to pick from, man. But if I had to just pick one, I would probably say it was the third quarter. The third quarter full like 72-foot shot from Nikola Jokic. Like, because I like moments like that. To me, I could pick a game. I could pick a guy, having a 60-point triple-double. All of those things are cool. Yeah. But I like momentum shifting plays within games because I think those have the ability to really change the essence of how a game is going. It has the essence of changing how people feel about themselves because for all we know, that shot could elevate you into like a 22-2 run, and then you're running away with the game in the fourth. So I like that particular play from Nikola Jokic. I think that was my favorite moment this season. Because at the end of the day, and it's something we talked about before, Dan, like Nikola Jokic just does not care about his percentage. He just wants to get it up. And Nikola Jokic is the epitome of, man, live the game to have fun. Live within yourself to have fun. And don't worry about your stats. Don't worry about what you think may be, affecting you or whatever. Like, there are just plays and moments within the season that just remind you that it's all about having fun. And if you're not having fun playing basketball, you shouldn't be doing this. And that play to me was the epitome of it this year.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And the fact that he hit 2 of those this year is wild.
Man,
hitting one is crazy. The fact that he hit 2 is insane. For me, it was the behind the back pass to Gordon against the Bucks. That was probably my favorite moment of the season. I mean, that just encapsulates Nikola Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the funny thing is, it's like, it's not the first time we've seen him do that. He does that like 10 times a season. But for whatever reason, you got Brook Lopez in the background there, like has no idea where he is. He doesn't know what planet he's on when Jokic is making that pass. That was really, really cool to see. That was probably my favorite moment of the season. All right, quick update here real quick. There's 50 seconds to go. Man, this game is at a snail's pace. 121 to 119.
There's a game of chicken they're playing right now.
Sheesh. The Clippers just called a timeout. Good God. The timeouts in overtime are ridiculous. They challenged a play and it got overturned. So the Clippers retained their timeout. It's a 2-point game with 50 seconds to go. The Clippers have a 2-point lead over the Golden State Warriors. And just a reminder, if the Clippers win, that's who the Nuggets' first round opponent will be. But they will be hosting a first round series at Ball Arena. We do know that. KJ, you're the best. I'll let you go. I know you're moving. Good luck with your couch. And playoffs are about a week away, man.
Let's do it, man. Listen, Nuggets Nation, stand up, baby, because we're here. We made it to another playoff, and now it's time to make another playoff run. And, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun playoff run. No matter how it ends, when we look at the totality of this season, man, we just got to just put it all into perspective and just know that the Denver Nuggets, they could have been at home after today, but yet they still overcame. And here they are again, man, with the best player in the world, with another chance to make a run at a title. Dude, don't count the Denver Nuggets out. That's all I'm telling you, Nuggets Nation. Don't count them out.
Yeah, anytime you have Joker, you got a shot at minimum. And last thing, KG, real quick. These playoffs, and we've talked about this before, these playoffs are going to be huge in so many ways for this team. Because if they get bounced out earlier than we all hope, there might be some significant changes coming up over the offseason as far as roster movement. Now, if they can get to the West Finals or the NBA Finals, they might just try to keep it together, But depending on how these playoffs go, there might be huge changes to this team coming up over the offseason.
Agree 1,000%. And I think the players, based off how this past week has gone, I believe in my heart that they know the essence of this playoff run. And I think they're going to gather together, man. I think they're going to come together. I think they're going to band together. And I think they are going to look each other in the eyes and say, look, man, you are my brother. We have rolled through some tough times together. And all of these guys haven't been here for the championship run, but the majority of these guys have. And they'll be able to put their arms around each other and say, look, man, we are blessed with an opportunity to go after this again. This has been a rough week, but at the end of the day, man, we have faced the eye of the tiger, man. We have looked that storm right in the eye, and we have overcome it. We've gone 3-0 right here to close the regular season. If that is the motivation we need to believe and know that we can get over the hump, whatever that hump is, if that hump is the Western Conference Finals, because this is the toughest the West has been in years, if that hump is the NBA Finals, because you believe that you have everything it takes to overcome the road, regardless of whether you play Minnesota or not, then at the end of the day, these guys have to step up and answer the call, man. And I believe that they have everything it takes to do it. They have just got to understand that it's all about putting their arms around each other and knowing that nobody will believe in them like the guys in that locker room.
All right, KJ, there's 6 seconds to go. Kawhi Leonard's at the free throw line. They're up by 2. He misses the first free throw. So we still don't know who the Nuggets opponent is, but it looks like the Clippers are going to pull this one out. KJ, you're the best, man. Appreciate you jumping on, and we'll talk more coming up on April 19th, Nuggets' first playoff game.
Hey, let's do it, man. I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
All right, there he goes, our guy KJ Granderson. Excellent stuff there. I've got a clip from Adelman, but I want to try to wait until this Clippers-Warriors game's over. Okay, so Kawhi did hit the second free throw. So they're up by 3 with 6 seconds to go. The Warriors just call a full timeout. Oh, my goodness. Steph Curry's going to drill a 3 to send this into double overtime. I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling. Wow, this is pretty crazy. Okay, well, we'll play the Adelman clip, and then I'll give you an update on what's going on there between the Warriors and Clippers as that game is looking like it's close to end. But here's interim head coach David Adelman after the Nuggets beat the Houston Rockets.
Basketball you've seen the past 3 games, where does that compare to where you think this team could be in the playoffs?
Well, I think they're trending the right way. If we can play that hard and consistently communicate the way we are, not just out on the court, but at halftime, the guys were great. The communication was good. And that's what we need. We need a collective feeling of when things get tough, we got each other's back. And that's what I saw the last 3 games, and that carries you through tough times. I mean, Sacramento came back, cut it to 4. Memphis is up 15. This game, they hung around for a long time. And I thought we just had a very tunnel vision type attitude, which we have to take to, these very different kind of games we're about to play.
The playoffs change. It's a different, as you said, a different season. The 2 teams with the best chance of you guys playing, Clippers, possibly even Minnesota, 2 physical teams. Houston's a physical team.
Yeah.
Good to match them, but then kind of in game 82 to see, hey, this is kind of how it's going to be.
Yeah, and to your point, I think they are the most physical team. I mean, even the guys they brought in at the end of the game. I mean, they have size, girth, length. Whitmore's in there at the end of the game. Dante, these guys are. I mean, these are men. And that's what those series are going to be. That you're right. 2 great defensive teams in Minnesota and the Clippers. And I mean, it's really funny. People ask like, who do you want to play in the first round? Nobody. I mean, the West is loaded. I mean, you think people want to play Jokic? I mean, Murray, guys that won championships, Aaron, Michael, CB. I mean, the West is what it is. So whoever you're going to get, it's going to be a beast. And we know that. And we got to have the right competitive mindset. And like you said, the physicality is going to geek up, and we have to match it.
Wow, great stuff there from Adelman. I got to say, this guy is crushing his press conferences. He's a very smart guy. All right, well, you heard it there. They don't, they don't really care who they play. I care. And, that's the mindset they should have. Okay, it looks like the Clippers are going to win. They're up. What? It's over. It's over. Okay, so it's official. The Nuggets will be playing the Los Angeles Clippers in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. We don't have the official schedule yet, obviously, but I believe the first game will be April 19th. So there it is, folks. Thoughts on Nuggets and Clippers in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. Wow. I'm trying to see if there are updated standings in the West. I'm just trying to see how this whole thing shakes out. Okay, it looks like, so the Clippers are the 5 seed, Minnesota's the 6 seed, so they avoid the play-in. And with that loss, Golden State falls down into the play-in tournament at the 7 seed. So it'll be Golden State and the Dallas Mavericks in the play-in, and then Memphis and Sacramento. Those winners will play, obviously, the Thunder, who are the 1 seed, and the Houston Rockets, who are in the 2 seed. So there it is. So we'll have Lakers and Timberwolves in round 1 also. Wow. That is going to be a very interesting series. Very interesting. I mean, I could see either one of those teams winning that series. Okay. So we've got LA, Minnesota, Denver, and the LA Clippers confirmed. And then we'll await to see the winners of the play-in tournament to see who plays the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets. Great stuff. All right, there's your matchup, folks. Nuggets and Clippers, round 1, I believe, will be starting here in the Mile High City coming up on April 19th. So some good rest time here for the Denver Nuggets, and we will see how the postseason turns out. We will talk to you coming up April 19th. We'll have live coverage on digital platforms, like I said, and we'll be on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Same with Raj and Springer. They will have your Avalanche post-game coverage on both 92.5 and our digital platforms. Avs and Stars in round 1. I think that's the best storyline in the NHL playoffs, no doubt about it. Matt Duchene and Mikko Rantanen will face their former team. And the Nuggets and Clippers coming up. I think the Nuggets have a really good chance to beat the Clippers in round 1, but we'll see how it turns out. That's going to do it for the post-game show, everybody. The regular season is over. Thank you so much for everyone who has been riding along with me on here throughout the season. It is my honor and pleasure to bring you Nuggets coverage, and I'm glad that we get to continue it. And hopefully it goes into late May and early June that we're on here talking about the Denver Nuggets. But that's going to do it for the post-game show, everybody. Nuggets and Clippers round 1 confirmed. We'll talk to you next time right here on Altitude Sports Radio.